Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
And my very great pleasure to welcome in and to congratulate the newly elected chair of the Paraparaumu Raumati Community Board, Kathy Spiers. Congratulations.
Thank you, John, and good morning.
I know I said several times on the radio, that will be an interesting discussion.
Yes.
We're working out who the chair of that particular board was, and no doubt, because let's face it, we had some very qualified people, didn't we?
Absolutely, yes.
And this was not the case in all the other boards. I'm not disparaging, it's just it's a matter of experience. But gosh, you've got a really good board, haven't you?
We have now, yes.
Yeah.
And it's great to have Grace on board as well.
Yes, indeed.
To have a young person,
yes.
So it's really good.
Oh, great. And I believe you had a meeting recently that was well attended.
Absolutely. We had about 40 people in the audience, which was really, really good, and bringing to the community board all the local issues that we need to work through. So I thought I'd just run over a couple of them, but next year we'll get into them individually more and see how we progress through them. But we still have issues with road safety down at Raumati Beach. There is, they're wanting, some people down there wanting the 30 kilometres extended, but of course now there's talk about making driving past schools 30 k's.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
Yes.
And that's a national thing, isn't it?
That's right. So staff are working on that, and early in the new year we'll have a report come to us about a roundabout and the timelines down at the corner of Rosetta and Raumati roads. So that hopefully will improve things down at Raumati Beach. There's also huge issues up at the Mangatukutuku Valley. There's potholes and there's grass growing and scrubs and everything on the side of the road. And the chaps up there, the people up there wanting to have a meeting with the police because there's some people up there not driving to the speed limits, and it's quite dangerous. And there's also talk about making that road 30 kilometres an hour. So within the next week or two, hopefully, the community board members, I'm just waiting to hear from staff, we may take a trip up there and have a look. And the residents wanting to meet up with the police to see what the police can do. But council staff are still getting their ducks in a row as to what improvements they're going to make before we can have the meeting with the police.
It does bring up a very good point about enforcement, though, doesn't it? Because you can write 30 on a sign.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean a darn thing
no.
Unless it's enforced.
That's right.
And that's the case with the variable speed limits. I think people find it confusing. They're sort of assuming that in the built-up area it's 50, outside it's 100, and life is simple. It's getting less simple, isn't it?
It is. And being a member of the community board, and it went through our board for the 30 k's down in the villages in Raumati Beach. And when it first came in, when I got down there, I thought, oops, it's 30 k's. So it's getting your mindset around, this is 30 k's now. So it's just getting the message out there. And that's what the community board hopes to do next year, is have more community engagement. I attended the age-friendly that Captain Grey Power putting on, and I went from, there was about 6 tables, so I went from table to table, and each table they were saying, we don't even know who the community board is or what they do. Yeah. So now Grey Power are looking at inviting the community board along, and I thought we need to start engaging more with our communities and seeing what the issues are and what we can do to assist and advocate to council for them.
So is that what you would like to achieve as chair, more community engagement?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, getting down to the nitty-gritty and saying what are the issues in the community. And also, there's what else came out of it? And Sylvia Hall, lovely lady, came to our community board, and she's done these posters, Araha and Aotearoa, spreading kindness and respect. So she's given me these posters to put up. I've got these posters to put up all around the district.
Isn't that lovely?
So it's spreading a lovely message as well.
Indeed. Oh, bless you. Yes. Sylvia Hall. I shall write that name down.
Sylvia Hill.
Okay.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, lovely, Sylvia, if you happen to be listening. That's a lovely poster indeed. So we just might see if we can track you down. Well, what happened at the meeting with all of these people there?
Well, they just all, it was quite amazing. They just all came, and I've got a whole 2 pages of issues.
Yes.
There was, of course, we had a notice of motion to reinstate the funding for the library books, which was supported by council. And we had Rob Scriven there from the indoor sports stadium wanting a feasibility study done for the indoor sports stadium. But the community board's also having a workshop tomorrow to work through what our priorities are over the next 3 years, and so year 1, year 2, year 3. And so Alison Lort Council's attending to give us a rundown on Aotearoa Park, because in that development plan there's evidently an indoor sports centre. But personally, I'm wondering, is Aotearoa Park the place to have it? Because councils now and all governments are talking about getting urban development around the town centres. So I mean, I can always change my mind, but to me, a big indoor sports stadium would be great in the town centre, by the swimming pool, by the library. So we need to find out what the consultation has been in the community, but I don't know how far out that is in the development plan.
Right.
But it would be good, because I know that Angelo Robinson with his Hoop Club, I mean, he does wonderful work, and there's only much space down at Paraparaumu College Hall, and that's always booked out, so we definitely need that.
But outside Paraparaumu College Hall, there's a bus stop.
Yes.
And I think this is a really important thing, and this is my concern about Aotearoa Park, that it is out in those spaces that I don't think are going to be well served by public transport for quite some time.
No, and it's like the school holidays are coming up now,
Yes.
so if there was a sports centre out there, how do all the children get out there? And even Waikanae, they can get the train. If it was down in this town, around the town centre, they get the train, and there's buses, and you've got to have the public transport.
Yeah, I think you do. I think it's really important for a public facility. We do need good public transport. So they were the issues that came from the people who turned up, were they?
Yes. It was mainly Manakatok and the notice of motion, And so that was really, really good. So it was a really robust first meeting, I might
Excellent.
add. Because it's still on our radar. There's all other things happening around with the community centre. We need to know what's happening with that, and we're still wanting our gateway and our marine discovery centre at Raumati Beach. So there's lots and lots of issues. I've got a whole heap of page of issues that we.
Let's go through them.
Do you want to go through them?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. I've got here, we need to engage with our communities more. And we're looking at our website as well. McLean Park, there's meant to be a scooter park coming up. Of course, top priority is the new toilets down there.
Yes.
Now, I've got a daughter in Akaroa, and they demolished 6 toilets, built 7 brand new toilets for all the cruise ships and all the people for $630,000. Now, if they can build 7 toilets for $630,000, we need to find out, well, come on. Indoor sports zone, the community centre, State Highway 1 revocation. There's also issues too at the next meeting. I want to get Metlink here, because there's some issues around the patronage, the routes, and the times that the buses are coming. And I've heard some rumours that there were some people saying that they're not the right, don't go around the right streets and different things. So
yes, there's a very robust discussion, and I think the opportunity is coming up because of what's happening in Wellington.
Yes.
And I've talked to Penny Gaylor about this, and so early next year I think there's going to be a robust discussion. One of the things which intrigues me, I didn't realise, because I've got the gold card,
yes.
and I use it regularly on the public transport. The people who go to the railway station and stay on to go to coastlands, they're getting charged again.
Oh, my gosh.
And, well, some of them are getting charged again. I understand it's over to the discretion of the driver. Now, that is not the agreement that we originally came up with.
No.
So I think there's a discussion to be had about that one.
Yes. So I'm asking Mark DeHaast, who's our staff on our community board, to try and get them to our February the 18th meeting. It's going to be at the community centre.
Right.
And village precincts. We need to go, because they've got the revocation, they're concentrating on town centres. We cannot forget we've got our Raumati South, our Raumati Beach, Paraparaumu Beach, our Kenakena. I mean, Kenakena could do with a bit of sprucing up as well. So we've got to remember all those little business precincts as well, and just not the town centre. I've got Marine Discovery Centre, Gateway, Aotearoa Park. Pahutakawa Park, there's a request there for a toilet, and it's they've got the overbridge, that the walk-through that comes through there, and it's like, and I said to one of the staff members, you pick up your children, you take them to the park, and then one little one was, I want to go to the toilet. Yes. So what do you have to do? Pack up and take everybody home again and then come back? So I said they need that. Economic development strategy. We're turning on the lights. I'm not sure that that's happening. Parking around the town centre, there were some issues recently in Manawa Ave at the little cul-de-sac by the playground. That's staff working at the police call centre were parking there, and there were some issues around parking over driveways.
Yes.
So staff are also doing next year, there's going to be, when they finish Waikanai, they're going to do the Paraparaumu town centre parking improvements and all of that. So in Manawa Ave will be involved with that. I've done the Rosetta Road roundabout. And the Mayor Guru has always wanted the community boards to have more powers, so there needs to be a big discussion around what exactly those powers are with all the community boards. But once we've decided upon what powers we would like, then it actually all has to go past council, so it has to go to a council meeting to be approved anyway. Yes, and I'm just saying that the community board needs to reflect the views of the community. Your parks and recreation projects, what are their plans for the next 3 years? Like playgrounds, and there was a comment made recently about, do we need all our playgrounds? Well, hello, yes we do.
Right, we do. Absolutely.
But maybe they could be turned into more like social social hubs, because we've got couple of age concern working on social isolation. So maybe we could have community gardens in them, involving the neighbourhoods to say, what would you like to see in the playgrounds, and not just playgrounds. Maybe there could be rotundas where people could come and meet in emergencies and all that kind of thing.
And those exercise machines for older people as
That's
well.
Right, that's right. And it doesn't have to be funded by rates if everybody's getting concerned. Not everything has to be funded by rates, because the idea is that maybe that council could contract somebody to raise funds for these equipments in the playgrounds and from all these charitable organisations, and they could take 10% of the money they raise. So they don't have to employ staff. Maybe they could contract it out so that the money is brought in from other ways.
Okay.
So there's all those things. The community hall upgrades, your members report, roading projects for the next 3 years. Greater Wellington Regional Council pest control and how do we manage it. Iwi relationship with the community board. I'd like to see more relationships with the community board. Upcoming bylaws. We've got the beach bylaw coming up.
Right.
And we need good social policy. Our code of conduct, so I think that just about...
it sounds like a fair bit of work to do.
Yes, and a local earthquake plan I've got. Your REMO, we've got to have a meeting with REMO to see.
Oh, great.
Yes, so that's, part of... So during next year, the next 3 years, and of course other issues will all come up from the community as well.
That's actually quite a roster to start with, isn't it?
It is. So that's just mine. That's not any other community board members yet. So we'll be busy.
We await further developments with great interest, and we thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you for the time, John.
Kathy Spiers, the incoming chair, the just elected chair of the Paraparaumu Raumati Community Board.
106.3 Beach FM.